Greetings folks, welcome to the NightStorm History Project. Today I want to talk about the Avon Free Festival 91, Chipping Sodbury Common. I didn't know there was going to be a rave tent there, and I attended for the festival. A friend of mine, Jock, who we met briefly in the Peasdown episode, he spent half the night convincing me I should partake in the rave and all that sort of stuff, but I need a bit more convincing than that. I did wander over at one point. What I saw, I wrote down later, and I put that on my website, and I'll post that at the bottom of this video. The tent was rammed. Around the outside, there were people milling about, having a merry old time. Fire eaters, jugglers. There was UV every light lit up the sculptures, and the tent rocked. The people were all dancing. The atmosphere was electric. What we have next is an interview with a DJ that's been playing now for well over 3 decades. He played Saturday night in the Circus Warp tent, and also at the end of the interview we'll be treated to a sample of what he played that night. So a big NightStorm studio welcome to John, aka DJ Vinyl Junkie.
My memory of all the free parties back in 1991 is pretty foggy, if I'm honest, including Chipping Sodbury. In the years previous to Chipping Sodbury, there was a free festival every year on that date called Ingliston Common. I think it was called the Avon Free Festival or something like that. There was no dance music, it was just like rock and folk music and stuff like that. But we used to go there every year because you could always get a good bit of ash up there. I actually remember seeing Hawkwind there one year, and they were playing in a little tent to about 100 people.
Ah, Hawkwind. There's a blast from the past. I've seen them at a few Torpedo Town festivals in Hampshire. 35th anniversary of Torpedo Town, that epic party in 91 is coming up, so do a special on that. Anyway, over to you, John.
But anyway, in 1991, we heard there was now going to be a rave tent at Ingliston Common, so we were quite excited about that, as it was somewhere we went every year anyway. But the police blocked off Ingliston Common that year and wouldn't let anyone in, so it was moved at the last minute to Chipping Sodbury. That's how I remember it anyway. When we arrived at the site at Chipping Sodbury, there was old Bill everywhere. They were letting people in, but they were spinning all the cars looking for drugs. A lot of people got nicked. Luckily, they didn't find ours. To be honest, what I remember most about all those free parties is being stood up behind the decks waiting for my turn to play. The way it worked was somebody would make a list based on all the DJs that were there at the beginning of the night, and you'd be given a set time. But I learned pretty quickly that if you just went off to enjoy the rave and came back at your set time, the guy who made the original list, or the list itself, had gone missing, and there was now a new list which you're not on. So the only way to guarantee that you would get to play was to just stay up there by the decks all night and just like fight to keep your slot. So that's what I did. And even then, there was no guarantee you would actually get to play, because if Easygroove turned up, he would literally kick off whoever was playing and just play himself for like 3 or 4 hours. So even if your name was on that list, that was kind of irrelevant. He would usually turn up at about 5 or 6 in the morning after he'd been off doing all his like paid gigs. And so yeah, you just wanted to make sure you played before then, really. Chipping Sodbury was a little bit different though, because Easygroove was already there. I don't know, maybe he didn't have any other gigs that night, but he'd played earlier in the night. And I remember there was a whole load of DJs wanted to play, including there was 6 of us from Bristol and loads more. All the Oxford crew were there. So Dennis basically secured a 90-minute slot to be shared between all the Bristol guys. So we came on straight after him and we had 15 minutes each. From memory, I can remember definitely Kenneth Moore, the Techno Dread, was there, and Joe Kellard, DJ Absolute, was there as well, and it was me. And I'm pretty sure Diane Cross were there as well. And I think the other DJ was Zach Kellard, DJ Absolute's little brother. But don't quote me on that. And they were really strict on the times as well. Like, you couldn't even go a couple of seconds over, they were on you. I remember Kenneth was told to get off as he'd gone over time, and he threw his headphones onto the mixer, which hit the power button and turned the mixer off, so all the music went off. But yeah, I got to play for 15 minutes in the main Circus Warp tent. I think it was Circus Warp, or it might have been Circus Warp and Sweat Sound System together. But yeah, the tent was packed. Done me 15 minutes.
DJs getting a play, that's always been an issue, and what led to many sound systems starting up so they could play on their own system. The Circus Warp tent, I know it came with other stuff, jugglers, fire eaters, sculptures, stuff like that, but a lot of people think it was a system. Was it ever a system? Does anyone know the true story? If they do, put it in the comments. Back to you, John.
Wicked. And that's really all I remember from Chipping Sodbury, apart from one other thing. In the morning, when I've come out of the marquee tent and it was light, there was a van, there was a guy selling stuff out the back of a van. He had a little sign up stuck to the back of his escort van, and it said Ease and egg sandwiches. The geezer is literally giving you a free fried egg sandwich if you bought an E. So yeah, obviously fucking I had one, of course. Classic.
I'm bigger and bolder and rougher and tougher. In other words, sucker, there is no other. I'm the one and only dominator. I'm the one and only dominator. There is no other.
That was great, John. It's an honour to have you here and an excellent contribution to the History Project. There's great anecdotes. I'll give you the last word.